And air, the powerful element. And with this is where we're going to begin. And it's all about breath, the air around us, and that which moves us. And literally as we move ourselves, we can feel the air through our fingers, through our hands, through our bodies. And as we step outside, that becomes much more obvious as where air brushes over us. Air is, if you like, what it is, literally the invisible element, the one invisible element that is central to life, breathing in the present moment. And so air, in that sense, is a powerful, powerful element and friend. Air is also in the realms of imagination, mind, communication. It's the realms of in a magical sense, it's all about spirit and energy. And where we're going to continue, I'm just going to light this here candle. And I'm burning a little bit of incense that I acquired from Paula. We all know Paula, and this is the one that we had made in our last circle, and it's the when we made the incense together. This one is is called Peace, and it was made during our circle, and it was such a beautiful time, and I thought that was an appropriate one to burn. And there is slivers of hope right now, and I'm going to share with you a story. But still, we'll start the story, and this is a story of the lady called Ceridwen. More so, it's the story of Taliesin. It's a story of inspiration and transformation and magic. You see, Ceridwen acquired the services of a young servant boy to tend to a magic cauldron that was to brew for a year and a day. At the end of the year and a day, the first 3 drops that were to come out of this pot was there to give incredible magical wisdom, insights, and the ability of transformation and change for whoever drank the first 3 drops, or to receive the first 3 drops from this cauldron. And this cauldron boiled for a year and a day, and a young servant boy known as Gwynbach tended it, putting logs in it, tended it for a year and a day, and after a year and a day it was almost ready. And this young boy who stirred that pot faithfully added the final logs, added a touch more water so it did not dry out, and it bubbled and bubbled, and then pop, 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 3 drops spat out and landed on the servant boy's thumb. Singeing his skin, he immediately plunged it into his mouth to quench the pain. And just in that moment, he received the magical potion, the potion that was intended for another, himself. He instantly knew all things. He could see into the future. He had the ability to transform his body. Not that he knew just yet. But he also knew that Ceridwen was furious and would hunt him down. So he began to run. And he began to run, and Ceridwen made chase and was gaining ground. And he ran as fast as he could, and just then he noticed his hands turning to pause. He noticed his feet transforming as his body turned into a hare, giving him the ability to run even faster. And the first change had occurred. Ceridwen transformed herself into a greyhound and made haste, chasing him across the fields. Gaining ground, he was almost upon his tail. The servant boy as a hare dived into a stream, becoming a sacred salmon. Ceridwen dived in afterwards and chased him even more. But this time, swimming fast underneath reeds, around bushes, they went around and around, and the distance breaking down. The otter was on the tail, just on the tail of the sacred salmon. The salmon broke the surface of the water and became one of Britain's smallest birds, and became a wren, flying high in the air. Ceridwen broke the surface of water and became a sparrowhawk, and chased him high into the air, high into the clouds, high amongst all things, and around they went. Being a small bird, he began to lose his energy, and just then he saw all the way down the reeds, and he could see all sorts of different grains of corn. And in the midst of the sky, high above, he decided right there and then to transform himself into a small piece of corn. And high in the sky he fluttered down and landed amongst the reeds, hiding amongst the reeds, hiding, if you like, in plain view. Ceridwen transformed herself into a hen and started to pluck corn by corn by corn by corn by corn. So eventually she saw one corn hiding amongst the reeds, and she swallowed him deep down into her belly. Something occurred. She came back to her natural form as Ceridwen, and there she knew. And 9 months later, Ceridwen gave birth to who we know to be Taliesin, who was known as Shining Brow, and he was the bard of bards, the storyteller of storytellers, and he became the tales of inspiration, storytelling and magic. And today this is what we're focusing on, is the element of air here in our circle together. And I just wanted to share that story with you as a start off of our evening together in the realms of thought, communication, inspiration, storytelling, and the bardic tales. Yeah. So here's one of those things, is that the symbolism of air itself can be found in lots of different symbols, if you like. For example, I was hoping to find one today, but a feather, for example, a feather, or it could be we could be our breath, it could be the wind. There's all sorts of different things that can symbolize the air. I'm just going to ask you folks if there's something that you could share, perhaps in the comments, thoughts that come to mind when you think of air. What are they? So it's an important part. Also, air is symbolic in regards to the direction it rises. It rises in the east, and there is the element. The element of air is in the east, and I've already made mention. Air, in that sense, is all about new beginnings. New beginnings, new ideas, new focuses. The tools that we can use is so in the tarot, it's often very symbolic of the first one that arises. will be the one I will use. There we go. Oh, that's a perfect one right there. The Page of Swords. We got so there you have, and the sword itself it's literally cutting through the air. So and it comes underneath the element of air. Next week we're going to be looking at fire and passion, and we will have a special guest with us. And we'll be focusing on fire, our passions, and our inspirations. But, so our words, our spoken words, are really, really powerful. What we speak over ourselves, what we speak over others, and under wizardry, it's and the wizardry or the practice of wizardry or your own magic, or your own path, whatever that is, our own practice. It's the very first part of manifestation, because our imagination, what we see, what we create, we speak it out, so mote it be. So it begins to take form as we begin to speak it out. So when we consider the word wish, W-I-S-H, what is stated happens. What is stated happens. So that's literally an acronym right there. That's what is stated happens, and it does summarize that manifestation. As we begin to state it, it begins to manifest. Certain things like vision boards, they all become tools of ours underneath the element of air, because it allows us to begin to shape our ideas and to manifest them and to make them happen. And we're focusing on air, folks, the element of air, and we're following a 4-week series, and this is the second series of that 4-week. Last week was an introduction, and you can watch that after the show if you weren't there.